allow the children. It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary political, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary political, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politics.
Hello there.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó jòjòjò. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó jòjòjò. Ọ̀rẹ́ ara lórí Facebook.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Maiyegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀dẹ̀lú kì í kò ní bẹ̀rù.
Thank you so much for joining me. It is our Sunday sermon on Maiyegun's Diary Political. Sunday sermon on Maiyegun's Diary Political is a no-holds-bar session. It is a place where if you are a politically correct person, you shouldn't watch this because things can actually escalate very fast. This is where, we are allowed to speak freely how you really feel about things, how I feel about things happening there. You can call it ranting, doesn't really matter. But do not feel offended or by any means think you will be needed or your advice will be needed. It could go to, it is a segment where anybody and anyone and anything can be touched as much as they are concerned, okay? So thank you so much for joining me. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, All you have to tell them is that Maiyegun today. The state of Nigeria is what we want to talk about today. If you have your bias or your prejudices or biases, this will be the moment you are likely not going to be able to hide it. You know, some of you are like a closet bigots, religious fanatics, extremists, but are not really bold to speak publicly because of the shame associated with whatever you think you believe in. And you have been pretending. On Sunday sermon on Maiyegun's Diary Political, I may be striking a chord in you that can throw you into rage because you have been a pretender. But if anything I say today by any means offends you, it simply means you have been a pretender all along. If whatever I say today makes you understand Nigeria better, then possibly, we are winning. And I know we are. You just share the broadcast. Over 800 people have been kidnapped in Nigeria in 1 week. And it seems everybody, like I used to say, they are minding their business. Today. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is a Sunday sermon on Maiyegun's Diary Political, and thank you for joining me. I want to use this moment, especially all of you everyone that is here today. I want to use this moment to call for individual sober reflection. Think about things that as Nigeria is what it is today. Think about your actions and inactions, what you have enabled that have now festered to this stage, putting all of us and our lives, our future in jeopardy, in serious danger. APC, Egbekegbe, represents evil, poverty, division, and totally like a death, genocide, ethnic cleansing, religious, extremism, all of this enabled by a corrupt system that has no real identity. So today in Nigeria, everything has gone to dust, but they are pretending to be holding it together. There are those who believe that maybe something can still happen or be done. And we keep reminding you, nothing will be done. Or, number one, nothing is being done. Nothing will be done than further ruin and destruction. If you don't stop these criminals, if you don't stop them, they will kill all of us. But before they succeed, they will bleed too. How? By reducing the dependency, the ignorance of a lot of you, who even despite what is going on in Nigeria today, you are still making yourselves tribal champions, ethnic champions, those who are promoting different prejudices against yourselves. But your leaders, they feast. So I saw the funeral of that Access Bank MD that died, Wigwe, and all of the accolades. You know, when you look at the ordinary Nigerians who are pretty much like customers of his bank, or who have done businesses with his bank and all of that. And then the story of his rise and all of ruggedity and all that sort of resonate with some Nigerians who are dreamers, right? Who dreams that maybe one day they will be like him, right? However, his real friends, his true friends, they came together, right? They came together to when they were crying about their losses. They were talking about their money. They are talking about the wealth that they have been able to sort of, exchange among themselves. What do you call it? The disgraced emir of Kano then, Sanusi, in fact, came out and said, in fact, he actually cried. He cried because he said he made the guy his children, I mean, the sort of the estate manager or something for his children's trust fund. However, some didn't miss the chance of playing politics there too. Okay, so we're going to touch that this afternoon or morning, whatever the time is at yours, right? So, but I saw them celebrating or mourning what is pretty much like the Commonwealth, your Commonwealth, how your money, those who were stealing your money and those who were laundering the money for them, the banks. So this was the time that they were able to kind of, they felt so bad that the guy died in his prime. He could still have done so much more. But to them, the loss is not to those of you who probably dream to become like him, which will likely never happen. All right, to 99.9% of you, by the way. However, the loss is not to you, the loss is to them. Those his friends he has helped in his career, which is for them, but the assemblage of thieves, squanderers, plunderers, and all that should tell you enough picture of what Nigeria is. Then you look at the other side, which is where you have the multitude of their victims. It's like seeing the economic saboteurs, okay? Political criminals, economic saboteurs, and them coming together in a single place, right? And then on the other side, you see the army of their victims, the Nigerians, right? So in that space, it was even more louder. Okay, the death of the tragedy of that man's death and his family, right, was so loud. Okay, to also tell you the significance of the haves to the insignificance of the have-nots. When people die, when they kill people in Nigeria, okay, most of it is just going to be numbers. For example, you have been hearing school kidnapping, mass kidnappings. Only a single one happened under Goodluck Ebere Jonathan, and the entire world, the entire country, everyone ran, like, gone so crazy. It was a mad moment. Then under APC, Egbe, 18 to 19 school kidnappings took place. Under this Thiefnubu, there has been about 4 different school kidnappings that have taken place, under Thiefnubu. But they are mostly insignificant people that do not make most of you even cry. But I know a lot of you who have put up social media posts explaining things in your own imagination where imagination won't finish you, describing the loss of Wigwe and his family to Nigeria. Do you now see the difference? Unfortunately, the picture in Nigeria today is so clear. The desperation, the depression, and every other thing that people have to deal with are so pronounced. They are so evident on everyone's faces. And the nonchalant attitude of the elite of Nigeria, they are also more pronounced. That is why when one of them dies, they pretty much equals to maybe 10,000 of us. I am not trying to downplay the tragedy of that man's death, though. But listen to me. I am now pointing at the assemblage, the eulogy, the importance that they placed on the death of the man, his wife, and his son. Tragedy, of course. Compared to that person who has no second name that is similar to the ones you know, among the 800 women and children that have been kidnapped now for the past 5 days. Tell me, in your own all honesty, tell me that you feel the same way when you heard the news of the crash of this Access Bank guy and the reaction of your elite, your rich novels and all that. So the reaction, and your government too. So the reaction of your government to this recent one, I don't even want to go back to all of the tragedies in the past. Just this last 1 week. That is to tell you, you are nothing to these criminals. And if you are going to pick a battle, one of the foolish battles that you should never pick up is to think you really matter in fighting for one Nigeria. Look at all of them. I'm using this recent one because this is a tragedy. You will never hear that 800 women and children have been kidnapped in the United States of America, and they have been taken into the deserts of Utah. And American government, politicians, they are sad because one of them and his family died in a plane crash. And they managed to carry the entire country. Okay? Your entire media is flooded by messages of those who are sad, of those who are telling you the loss. This is to Nigeria, of how emotional they have dragged you into it. And how, subconsciously, in fact, consciously for so many of you, thinking, turning around to now say you are fighting for one Nigeria. And I ask, if you have a one Nigeria, who are those who will make that one Nigeria? Are those people being killed little by little, day by day? And you, that they have managed to become so numb to all of this because somehow, something tells you this can never be your own fortune. It can never be your own fate. I bet some of these people today who are the victims now, they will say the same thing yesterday. So the point I'm trying to bring up here today is this. A lot of you are yet to kind of grasp the level of the generation that Nigeria has degenerated into. To the point that every time that you tell yourself that there is one Nigeria, but you do not tell yourself the bondage that you or those who have already fallen are in, and the responsibility of those who are supposed to prevent all of that. The moment you begin to kind of reason that, you see that's nerve in you that is telling you that this is redeemable. They will begin to kick in the right senses in you that you are still living in delusion. Delulu. So fighting for one Nigeria is fighting for what is going to kill you.
whether you are Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, Igbos, it doesn't really matter. It is like a place that is doomed and cursed with people that will make that destruction, generational ruin, possible. If they are not stopped, they won't stop. And if they don't stop, you and I, reason am. Somebody said, if the son of the president is among the people killed or kidnapped in Nigeria, that the terrorism will end immediately. Here is another delusion that some of you are believing in. You see, the danger that Nigeria is in is so beyond the hand of the rogues that brought you here, okay? That they themselves are in danger of what they have created. Or you see that greed, the lust for power, wealth, and all other worldly things that they use to rate themselves. They have blinded them that even they themselves are living in the danger they have created. But because they are blind by the greed and the lust of the office and all that, they do not mind to self-destruct. And that is why when they go down, or when Nigeria go down, it will take them with it. Nigeria will go down, not because I want it, not because you don't want it. It is simply because a lot of you are so enmeshed, you are so soaked, drowning in your different man-made bigotry that has blinded you enough that your prejudices towards one another is the fuel that is keeping these rogues going. And they are going nowhere than ruins. You can see it all. So everyone is on board. I am talking about the elite and their friends. We all agree. The role that religion has played on us so far has become so disastrous that we are also happy that a generation is emerging that will likely not follow the same man-made social conditioning that brought us here. So let me take 1, 2, 3 steps back a bit so that I can understand that you are following me. You see this broadcast you are watching right now, it is to help you, help me, okay, to understand that you see this Nigeria that you are seeing today and the trajectory of where it is going economically, security-wise, including the people in there, the government and the governed. The direction they are taking all of us is that of a perdition. What's that called? A total, decimation. And it is being done by those of you who are seeing evil and you are calling it good. You are seeing good. You are calling it evil. So you would need to understand what prejudice means in this regard and where you belong. Because you know what? The criminals, once again, if they are not stopped, they won't stop. Nigeria is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. There used to be a sealed one, but it is now opened. And we are just waiting for the spark. Some believe it's going to be a fire. Others believe it's just going to be a little spark that will turn to inferno. However, if you and me want to be honest with ourselves, this is a direct question now. See, calm down with your, ethnic association, your religious connection and every other thing that Nigeria has managed to give you or profile you and give you a sort of a combative identities, the one that has left all of you, all of us, in a combative mood, combative of supremacy. We are bigger than you. Our ancestors are bigger than your ancestors. Our ancestors, they wear clothes. You all know they wear clothes. Our ancestors, this and that. I want you to please put all of that down for now, okay? Just for a moment. Do you understand? And answer this question truthfully. Will you do that for me? Answer this truthfully. Okay. This is me asking you to drop your, I'm a Yoruba, I'm Igbo, I'm this or I am that for now. Drop them. And answer this. Do you think the people who are running Nigeria right now, all of the entire APC at the federal level, from Thiefnubu to Shittyman, from Gandola to Akpabioli, and the rest of all the people you are seeing right now running things in Nigeria, okay? Do you think Nigeria has a future? Be honest. If you say yes, that's okay. You probably will have a chance of telling us what you are saying. There are those who have told us that there is light after the tunnel. When you are in the tunnel and you are digging the tunnel, at the end of the day, your tunnel is expected to come into the open. Then you will see the light. But the problem of Nigeria that we have seen is that we have sent people to the future. And I will explain that to you, okay? We have sent people to the future and they have seen the end of that tunnel. Ladies and gentlemen, these criminals, by the time you get to the end of the tunnel, they are telling you there is light. You will discover that they have even stolen the sunlight there. They've taken away all of the light because with what they are doing, a country that your rulers or your reigners are borrowing against future generations. Baba, say me and you. Okay, let's put it this way. Now, you can put your own age now. This is why you should not let anybody threaten you or scare you with death. We're all going to die. Do you know that I am 40 years old? I will be lucky to live for another 40 years. I am not guaranteed that I will be here for another 40 years. Do you understand? Thiefnubu is 80 years old. There's no guarantee that Thiefnubu is going to be here for another 30 years. Bokwari is 85 years old. There is no chance that Bokwari is still going to be here in another 20 years. But you know what these guys have done? The future generation, your children, your children's children, they have borrowed against their future. They will be born into poverty, into a country that continues to pay debts, service debt, not even with the ability to pay any debt. Nigeria has debt. They have debt that these guys have stolen of 100 years repayment. These guys have used the Nigerian future oil prospects just for peanuts. They sold Nigeria oil prospects for the next 25 years. They've borrowed against Nigeria oil prospects for the next 50 years, which simply means every crude oil that comes out of Nigeria, there is already somebody they've sold it to. And these are supposed to be the resources of the future, or the resources that they have to use today to build the future. It's gone. After 63 years, these guys have only been able, in a country of 200 million people, as they say, right? This criminal generation, these old rogues that are telling you that tomorrow you are the leaders of tomorrow. The country that cannot generate 10,000 megawatts of electricity, a country that needs over 100,000 megawatts of electricity to be able to run its own economy, empower our own people, create wealth. But they continue to work against that just for today's benefit, because they want to drive the best cars today, the latest aircraft, they want to buy it. They want to renovate houses with money that could build schools, fund and recruit teachers, pay them well. You are watching them waste away all of this. So where do you think that one Nigeria future is going to just drop from? Eh? There is no light after that tunnel. They are lying to you. They told you that all you needed is to make sure you train your children, send them to school so that they will be able to fend for themselves and train their own children too, raise their own family too. But you are watching them now, all of you in your 40s, in your 30s, you have no idea what the life is going to be for you. You have no idea what the future is going to be. You have no plan of even having a family. And systematically, that is how they will finally destroy, lineages like that and turn them to future slaves. Their children are being groomed. They are not even raising their children that they use stolen money to send abroad. They are not training, they are not using their children for the development of Nigeria. Do you know how many of your politicians' children went to so many of these, international schools who schooled abroad? What did they learn from all those places their fathers sent them to? They stole money that could provide education for all of you, your children, in order to provide education for their own children abroad. Their children are supposed to come back with those training. They were supposed to be investments. They were supposed to come back as, people who plan countries, who build countries, who build economies. This was supposed to be the reward of what their parents stole your money to send them to go and do. But when they come back to Nigeria, they turn to their parent. They turn to their parent, and their parent turn to the system and create a further loopholes where their children will continue to scavenge, to eat free of you, adding no value, absolute no value, nothing. Have you ever thought of that? Which school Sheyi Thiefnubu went? What about Thiefnubu's children? All of Bokwari's children, especially Aisha's children, they schooled abroad. Atifku's children, Obasanjo's children, and so many of them like that. They schooled abroad. What did they bring back to Nigeria? What did they come back to create that you can say, if not for Obasanjo's daughter, Nigeria would have no healthcare system. Oh, if not for Buhari's son, Nigeria wouldn't have, resolved the issue of electricity. Oh, if it is not because of this so and so's daughter, the issue of reformed, reformed civil service. Oh man, do you know that these politicians, they have about 20 or 40 of their children in the Nigeria military, in the Nigeria Air Force, in the Nigeria Navy. They are there creating standard. When you go to Saudi Arabia, when you go to the Imperial China, they send their princes, they send their princesses, they send them to the Western world to go and bring something back. And when you go back to their countries today, you will see their children that study in Oxford in charge of the police. You will see children that studied in Harvard in charge of the business, what have you. You will see them there running their countries, contributing there. And their people they have something to show for it. How about all of your politicians? Okorocha and the rest of them, Benga Daniel, Amosun, all these guys send their children abroad, old and young. What did they come back to add to Nigeria? You that will fight and kill anybody because of Obaseki, or Oshiomole, or Akpabiole, or the rest of those that you love. I'm talking about your criminal leaders. I know you love your thieves differently. You love your oppressors differently. I am only asking you, what has been your gain from all of this? Because this is how it should have been. They shouldn't be coming back to use stolen money to buy power bikes, okay? to open businesses that they don't have intention of paying taxes and they do not have intention of succeeding in, because they can rely on free money. Why do they have to? Their children they are those who are filling up all the central bank, but yet there's no difference from the corruption that has always been there. So I'm asking you now, okay, at best, some of their children that refuse to come back to Nigeria, they are working like normal people abroad. Yes, they are. They are working like normal people abroad. They wake up every day, every morning, like every one of us. They go to their places of work and they are responsible. But when they come back to Nigeria, what exactly? Or even if you say your leaders they have you in mind, what is that having you in mind looking at all of these wastages? They expose to you. The world laugh at you. The doctors to your president, especially since Buhari's time. In fact, it started from Yaradua, who nearly died in Germany. American presidents will not be attended to by anyone other than American surgeons or Americans, medical practitioners for the sake of national security. That's how you value something that you actually love. Here you get. They say, if you love something, you are going to protect it. Abi? See you. Your phone, some of you love your phone so much. Not because your phone is anything other than just a device, but your phone is so useful to you. Depends on what you use it for. Your mobile, your financial apps on your phone, your navigators on your phone, your social media apps on your phone, so many other apps there that are currently helping you to run your life. Therefore, your phone is so precious to you, and you will not let anybody steal it. You will not let anybody break it. You will charge it when it needs power. You will make sure that you are not overcharging it so that it doesn't go bad. You care for it. A device, just phone. Now let's take material things out. Because there are things that that actually love also defines. You love see people you love. See the people you love. The people that you are ready to bleed for. Your children, your parents, your loved one, your siblings, some of you, your friends, you love them. You will never want anything to happen to them. You will protect them with your life if you have to. That is what love is. You care for them. You think of them. Abi, that's what love is. You are responsible for them as they are responsible for you. There are criminals in charge of Nigeria who do not love Nigeria. You have been living a lie, and I am here to keep reminding you. You are fighting a wrong battle, fighting everyone that is asking for the peaceful dissolution, the peaceful breakup. Let everybody go their separate way and undo their problems, their own choosing ways. You are fighting a wrong battle. Because the people you think love Nigeria, they don't. And they are the people that Nigeria has been so good to. Your politicians have had it all. Those who are dead and those who are alive, Nigeria gave them everything. Some of them older ones you have today. They all attended free education, sponsored scholarship, and all of that to acquire knowledge, only for them to come back to Nigeria and destroy the place because of their greed and selfishness. Nigeria gave them everything. Your criminal politicians, they drive free cars. They live in free houses. They pay themselves the ridiculous amount of money they want to pay themselves as salaries. You do not even have a say in all of that. And yet, the little they said is meant for you, they still won't let that get to you. They ruined a beautiful country, you will say, because Nigeria is a conglomeration of many, many nations, of so many nations. They ruined them by trying to force a wrong identity on all of us. They are those who hold Nigeria. They are those who hold you something. But what did they give you back? They gave you back corruption. They gave you back poverty. They gave you back division. They gave you back hatred. They gave you back religious fanaticism. They gave you back ethnic supremacy. They gave you back tribal jingo and all of that stuff.
none of this actually benefits you. None of this benefits any of us. Yorubas, they suffer. Igbos, they suffer. Hausas, they suffer. Fulanis, they suffer. Every tribe, every ethnic nationality, every religion is suffering in that place. It doesn't really spare anyone. Nobody is spared. By the people who were given everything. They were given everything. They are still being given everything. Right now, they are disloyal. Their doctors are not Nigerians. Not in Nigeria. Their investment is not in Nigeria. Outside the place. Their investment that are in Nigeria, they are conduit pipes that does not add any value, not to that place. You know it. I know it. But we are busy fighting ethnic Olympics, competing in ethnic Olympics, tribal Olympics. Abi? That's why I said I want to talk to you. I want to say that to you so that before you point fingers at those who are not patriotic, a lot of you are also not patriotic because you are defending unpatriotic people, people that Nigeria gave everything to. Nigeria gave these guys everything, no? Or they took everything. That's it. They've got everything. But what do you ask for? You ask them for security, peaceful coexistence, development, education for your children, health care for everyone, safe place, safe communities, safe farms, productive society, and a booming economy where everybody contributes. Everyone contributes to a booming economy if those in charge of that economy helps those people to contribute. Nigeria is being run by rogues that want to keep you in perpetuity of poverty. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? So that is why once in a while you need to ask yourselves, is what this guy is saying true or lies? Do you think Nigeria has a future? Do you think your children, if anything happened to you now, do you think Nigeria is a society that will protect your children and their dignity when you are no more? I keep asking people that all the time, but I think not everybody understands that. A place where your life can be snuffed out of you just like that. And it doesn't even spare you to say, are you a Christian? Or are you a Muslim? Or are you a Yoruba? Or are you a Hausa? Are you this or that? When this dark death comes calling, it doesn't even spare any one of us. Are you not seeing it? If they talk about Fulani terrorism, Boko Haram terrorism, a lot of you can easily point fingers and say, over there, not here. But a lot of you don't understand what is called economic terrorism. Have you not noticed how you were so devalued, even though you are not fighting war? So devalued that all it takes for you to lose money in Nigeria is to go and put that your money in your bank. You will watch it lose all its value. The rogues that brought you here, they are pointing fingers at themselves now. It is that one. It is that one. It is this one. You will be said they are victim. You said they help them point fingers. And now, everything is already bad before Thiefnubu. Everything is already bad. Let us be honest. How do you expect Thiefnubu to do it in 10 months? At least if they no go stop you from degenerating to what you have been today. Even if not just that time when Bokwari nearly strangulates some of you will survive now to death. Even if not that state, May 29, 2023, if not that state, Thiefnubu return you to now. I know talk say it better. At least you will prefer that, won't you, right now? Let me remind you, just in case, since you love to help them point fingers, it's not their fault. Things are already bad.
We should all know that we need sacrifice. Opele o, kanayo. Iwo ma sacrifice lo. Are you with me? They will continue to loot whatever is left to buy themselves properties all over the place while you are there doing sacrifices and sacrifices. In 10 months, Thiefnubu has borrowed over $8 billion. Oya Kosile. Sometimes Stockholm syndrome is something that we might need an extra spiritual consultation to cure. Because I've been working on it for the past 12 years, and it doesn't seem to be working too well because Stockholm syndrome still exists and it's even getting even worse. Okay, so Thiefnubu's criminal government has borrowed, so far so good, $8.2 billion. Kosile, are you with me? Thiefnubu's government, criminal government or illegitimate government, has claimed, by the way, that they have shared over 33 trillion naira in the last 10 months, okay? So Thiefnubu's criminal government that is currently probing Emefiole and Bokwari for printing 27.5 trillion naira and shared the money, stole it, right? The same Thiefnubu's government has already printed over 7 trillion naira. Kosile, 7 trillion naira. That is in your economy already, by the way, and nobody can really trace that. God knows how much of that naira paper is in your economy right now, okay? However, the same, the same Thiefnubu's criminal criminal who came back to say, there's been like no money or what have you, right? So let's go back to that May 29, 2023, so that you can remember where you were before where you are now, just for the record, okay? So in that your May 29, I still remember, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not mistaken, by the way, a liter of petroleum around that shito was put at around 169 naira per liter, Abi. So today, a liter of petroleum is between 690 naira to 1 liter, between 690 naira to 780 naira per liter, okay? So in May 2023, right, when this criminally legitimate Kolu came in, by the way, a bag of rice was sold for 30,000, between 30,000 and 32,000 naira. So today under Kolu is between 70,000 and 85,000 naira per bag, by the way. So, and also, mind you, $1 at the time was put at, officially, they said officially, $1 was 610 naira to $1. So, and then Kolu came in 10 months, $1 turned to 1,800 naira, nearly 2,000 naira to $1 at some point. Sean Kosile. No. Okay, I am writing the Kosile, by the way, right? So the same Kolu, before Kolu, they said that Nigeria was generating between 6,000 and 7,000 megawatts of electricity and distributing between 3,000 and 3,500 megawatts of electricity. Under Kolu, that has collapsed. Meanwhile, National Grid collapsed under Bokwari 104 times in 8 years. That's how many times the National Grid of Nigeria collapsed in 8 years, okay? So under Thiefnubu, National Grid has collapsed for 22 times already, by the way, all right? So, which means that not only that the generation has dropped under Thiefnubu, from 6,000 to 7,000, it has now dropped down to less than 4,000 megawatts of electricity generated. You ask me about the distributed. That one too has dropped to half. So it has, at some point, it actually dropped to 0. Do you understand what I mean? So right now, the Nigeria is distributing between 1,500 megawatt electricity and 1,800, less than 2,000 megawatt electricity is what Nigeria is distributing to industries, homes, and all these schools, hospitals in Nigeria. Then you have the picture, Abi, under these rogues. Nigeria has depreciated, right, by more than 50% just in 10 months. But since they said you should be Kanayo, as Kanayo, you can continue to sacrifice. But I will continue to remind you
that the same people who told you to sacrifice when Bokwari came to power. When Bokwari came to power, they said, Goodluck Jonathan has destroyed Nigeria totally. Thank God, say Bokwari came. Nigeria Naira to dollar in 2015 was officially was officially 145 Naira in 2015. Black market of Nigeria Naira at the time was put at between 199 Naira and 205 Naira to a dollar. And within 8 years of Bokwari, Nigeria Naira jumped from official 145 to official 610 Naira. Nigeria crude oil production before Bokwari, APC, Egbekegbe, was put at 1.8 million barrels a day, while Nigeria was losing 50,000 barrels to oil thieves. Immediately Bokwari came in, Nigeria's oil production dropped by half to 900,000 barrels a day, while the crude oil Nigeria was losing to the thieves increased by more than 600%, in fact, more than 700% to 700,000 barrels. Okay, that Nigeria started losing to oil thieves. So Nigeria lost so much money to the point that Nigerians no longer even had a clue how much Nigeria was making from crude oil for 8 years. You see, from 1960 to 2015, the Central Bank of Nigeria printed in total 921 billion naira in total as money they printed between 1960 and 2015. This money is called ways and means, the money that the central bank always prints to borrow the federal government if they're having deficits. Now, let me explain that to you, how they brought you to this ruin, okay? So normally, the government of Nigeria has no real business. Just take money. They call it taxes, and they can name it anything. Royalty, taxes, whatever. That's where they make their money. Now, that is why the government has a plan, and they call their plan budget. So when government budgets, they budget based on what they have or what they expect to have in order to provide whatever they want to provide in the country. So where there was a deficit means what the government wants to do around that time and the money they have, as well as the money they are expecting. Okay, put it this way, the money they have is not going to pay for what they want to do, okay? But they are expecting money, which will come later. So they will now say, okay, we are expecting 100 naira, let's say in the middle of the year. Currently, we need to spend 300 naira, but we only have 200 naira, okay? So since we have 200 naira, we need 100 naira, but this 100 naira won't come until June. So they will now turn to the central bank of the country. The central bank will now provide, by law, 5% of the entire budget. So let's say your budget is 300 naira, okay? So the central bank will provide you the 5% of that and give the money to government. You see that money that government is expecting? The moment the money comes in June, so government can continue to go and do what they want to do, okay? They will have money. So by June, when that money the government is expecting starts coming in, it will go straight to the central bank. And central bank will remove the money they gave to the government. Most of the time, the central bank have the money in their vaults. They do not need to print money. It's like a bank, okay? Oh, you need 1 trillion. We'll give it to you. It's already there. But in the case of APC, Egbekegbe, Nigeria printed 1960 to 2015. That's going to be like how many years? 55 years. For 55 years of Nigeria history, the central bank printed and borrowed 950-something billion to Nigeria government. But under APC, in a space of 8 years, the Central Bank of Nigeria printed 27.5 trillion naira.
and nobody has an account of it, what they did with it. As it is right now, Nigeria doesn't have any money they are expecting that they will use to pay back the money to the central bank. Central bank didn't have the money either. They printed the money. The money they printed, the one they found in their vaults, all of this money have disappeared. Either to people's strong rooms in their homes. And who are those who have access to this money from when it is printed to when it is shared? It is not me and you. And but when this whole mess, they will now be asking me and you that we should all work together and do our best to make sure that Nigeria is great. But what me and you go do? When some people get 27 trillion naira cash that they had the power to print and they cannot account for, what me and you go do to now save Nigeria now? What we go do? The criminals who did it are saying you and I should do something. What are we going to do? So this is why, when they push it to you, don't push it back to others. Do not take their responsibility for them. You need to stop them. So this 27 trillion, when they converted it, it came to $50 billion. $50 billion. And Thiefnubu, who happened to be the chief marketer for Bokwari, I think some of you still remember this now. College president.
Tí o bá sí àwa èmi tí ń dúró wájú yìí tí ń lérí ogun tí ní òkè Buhari nìṣó ká máa bá lọ. Kò lè di president. Ó ṣe kìíní olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kejì olùlẹ̀. Ó ṣe kẹta olùlẹ̀. Ó tiẹ̀ sunkún lórí tẹlifíṣàn. Pé láyé òun ò tún rán mọ́. Mo dẹ̀ lọ bá ń Kaduna wa rán ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀kún kọ́ lélẹ̀. Àdúró tiẹ̀. Wà á dẹ̀ wọlé. Nǹkan kan ní pé o ò ní fọ̀rọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá ṣeré. Ó dẹ̀ gbà. Tí ò bá sí àwọn.
Èmi ló kàn. When it is Yoruba turn, it is my turn. The chief marketer of Bokwari is now the man they are telling you that they did not know that Bokwari destroyed Nigeria to this level. And you should give him time. The only time you are giving them is just for them to replace those rogues, thieves that helped Bokwari and APC, Egbekegbe, to give you Thiefnubu. And once they replace them and it's like business as usual and it continues, see, you can abuse me. You can call me names. But look at me very well. I am not the person who brought this upon you. A lot of you brought this upon yourselves. I am only trying to cure you of the misfortune that you have brought upon yourself and innocent people. That you and your tribal Olympics, ethnic championship, it has brought you nothing but destruction, poverty, and death. Now, if you can't see it, it is because the whole log in your eye is deeper than you can see. Or maybe somebody around you need this too. And they should, so you can abuse me, you can not like me, you can say whatever you like. See, even me, I dey pray for you. Say Thiefnubu, not only that we do 8 years, so it go probably by then, it go don't master how they will now twist that your trashy book that you call Constitution, so that it can just be your own pobia. If that is what will happen, to give everybody sense, to let you know that you are a Yoruba, that you are a Igbo, or you are Hausa, or you are Fulani, in this doomed Nigeria. None of us is safe, but you go hear them. May you do 16, may you do 20, 30 years.
If him finish, make them push Sheyi inside. After Sheyi, make them push Ade. Make them put, like that. Make them give you everything where they want like that. You see, when the Gbedu enter body, look at me. When the Gbedu enter body, like when the Gbedu enter body, yay, enter body, you will dance, you will use azonto, to dance, what was that? You will use azonto to dance buga. I tell you, I've seen it happen many times. It's just that it hasn't really gotten to that chokehold. You can deceive yourself and think that because Thiefnubu is Yoruba, therefore you as a Yoruba, you have to defend Thiefnubu, who doesn't give a shit about you. You need to know that. And you also need to believe it. That Thiefnubu and these rogues, it is the same thing. For when Bokwari, one second, it's the same like when Bokwari was your president. Do you know how many school children they kidnapped under Bokwari and how many times? They put the number together. More than 3,000 school children were kidnapped under Bokwari in an operation that spanned over 18 times. 18 times under Bokwari. Under Thiefnubu, it has already happened about 4 times. Mass kidnapping. And you know something? It is coming home to it's coming home or coming to the community near you. We have seen the Fulani terrorists slaughter people, innocent people on their farms in Oyo State. We have seen terrorists ransacked and invaded Ondo State and Ondo communities. We have seen terrorists who have massacred and killed royal fathers in Yorubaland. We have seen terrorist sympathizers even threaten Remi Werekwe, Teresa Mendoza, Abuja, Thiefnubu's wife. We have seen things, and guess what? Thiefnubu would rather die. I'll ask you, where are the cows? Than come to the head of any Yoruba anywhere. I am a Yoruba man. I am of no value to Thiefnubu and his criminal gang. Do you understand that? And you need to believe that your life is worthless to them. But your life is precious. It's a life. No man can create life. It's a life that should be. One life is not important than the other life. Every life should matter. Abi, your life, my life, are supposed to be sacred. They should not be taken by anybody or should not be sacrificed on the altar of political aggrandizement, political benefits of these rogues. People are dying. I mean, you can easily tell there is no real remorse in their faces, So why should I decided to become an ethnic or tribal bigot? Not because I am defending my fellow Yorubas, but because I want to defend criminal politicians that doesn't give a damn about me, the education of my people, their health care, their safety. Have you thought of that? Have you thought about the you know what I mean? Have you thought about the danger that you have to endure? Your businesses that are going to die or dying. There are Yoruba businesses that are dying in this economy. Yorubas are paying ransom to terrorists in Nigeria. But Yorubas have Songodele, Amoda Shongolere, Thiefnubu as president. And that is so important to us. Our people can farm. You are there on that your Kinko made Apple phone Abinko. Thinking you are a tribal warrior, ethnic warrior, or a religious warrior. Somebody where they fight for God. When it gets to your own problems, you leave that for God. Papa. Una they fight for God. Turn yourself into special advisor to God in heaven. Some of you turn yourselves into Attorney General of Hellfire, the the protector of the realm in heaven, advocating for God, adjudicating for him, killing your fellow people for God. What the hell? If you understand very well the danger that you are in and the utopia that you are helping them to create, a place that you are that has no place for you other than to be a serf, a slave. So sometimes you might need to think, just like a lot of us are doing. We know that thinking is a very hard job. That's why a lot of people don't want to get involved in it. Thinking is a really, really hard job. But if you have to think about yourselves and think beyond yourself, because a lot of you are not even thinking about yourself, thinking that you are somehow protecting something or someone. Have you actually valued, have you actually reviewed of what value have these people added to your life, to your community? But when you take time to think it properly, you will realize that, as I have said many times, if you care to think just for 1 second, for God's sake, you will see it clearly that Nigeria is the weapon fashioned against you, and it's not going anywhere until you break it up. Defending Nigeria could mean something like other countries. Do not see yourselves, and it is not act of unpatriotism. No. We have been guilt tripped for so long. We have been fighting wrong battle. A lot of us have no idea why we are even fighting. We do not. And for those who understand why they are kind of spreading that seed of hate, you should also know that you're not doing yourself any good or any favor. You are helping the system that is put in place to kill you and destroy your descendants. Our children won't survive in that place. I promise you, they will not. A lot of us are not even surviving it now. Okay? Our forebearers who existed when we believed the world was so much cruel than this, they left something. A lot of us won't leave anything. They want us to die in the poverty capital they have created. Accept it. And turned us into this superstitious mob. People who believes that they will fight for God. But when it turns to their own fight, to fight for themselves, fight for your liberty, fight for your safety, fight for your own prosperity, fight for your own economy, fight for your identity, something that gives you purpose as human. Fight for something. Stand up for something, okay? Or you die for nothing. No. They would rather wait on God. So we need a generation that is not so sissy or lily-livered, that will believe that there is a sky daddy that is going to come with magic to free them. Nobody is coming to free anyone. And that is why you should open your mind and think. The danger is not just you and me. A lot of them are pretty much about money and all that. That is why you have a lot of rich Nigerians, supposedly. Very rich Nigerians that all they have is money. They want to drive cars that they can't make. They want to live in they want to live in the mansions that they can't design or build. Okay? They want to enjoy things that, could only be in others' dreams. They live off you. Their families, their concubines, and they live off you. They owe you. They owe you a lot because they've taken so much from us. And that's what they do all the time. They take everything they can take from us. Now, they pay attention. Okay? A lot of you are working so hard. But none of this is working in your own interest. You work so hard. in an economy that economy saboteurs are in charge of your country. Compromised criminals that could sacrifice your lives and bargain with terrorists. They don't even hide it. There's nowhere in the world that you will see anything called Operation Safe Corridor, where terrorists who have murdered innocent people, women and children, who have kidnapped them for years, raped them with no consequences. And there you are. You have a government that has a plan for them to rehabilitate them. Who rehabilitates terrorists? Terrorism is not just, it's not something that you just catch on the road. It is an idea. Terrorism is an idea that there's no amount of repentance that can actually withdraw that except death. But Nigeria claimed to have released more than 140,000 repentant terrorists. And you're having a dream in such country. Are you not deluded? I have my dream. In the next 5 years, I am planning to build. Are you being serious, really? Are you thinking at all? And that is why a lot of you are losing so much today. All your life savings, all your supposed money saved for raining day, they've devalued them, destroyed them. You are watching them do all of this. You watching them do all of this? And some of you kind of chose to defend them because to you, they are your tribesmen. They are people from your place. I cannot join anybody to fight my people. Your people are fighting you. The people you think are your people, those who are Yorubas, those who are Igbos among them, those who are Hausa Fulanis among them, they are there. They are there. They are benefiting from your ruins. But you are proud. You are proud to defend them and then wait on God. God will do it. Let's just believe in God. Let's just believe in God. Because God is the you do believe. It's incredible that you do. But there's something a lot of us believe will never happen. God will not do what humans are meant to do. So when you leave this broadcast, you might continue in that your own deluded mind before you will become the next victim. The thing is, you should remember this, that the arrow or the bullet shot from the shotgun of bad governance is always very democratic and doesn't discriminate. It will choose a victim, whether you are for them or you are not for them. We are all, what do you call it? We are all a disaster waiting to happen. It is like we are not allowed to choose our own fate. They are choosing our fate for us. Okay? That's what they are doing to you. Nigeria is non-negotiable. And all of the maladies, all of the abnormalities, the criminalities, the abductions called kidnappings, impunity, and others that have continued to contribute to the retrogression of Nigeria and Nigerians. They said it's our fate. They are non-negotiable. We either take it or we leave it. And they say if we want to leave it, we should leave Nigeria for them. Some of you have been echoing that too. If you don't like Nigeria, go to another country. We understand what you are creating. You are creating the world that, millions like yourself and your children will never be able to live in. In case if you don't know, what every day, every minute, that this Thiefnubu and his APC, they are in charge of Nigeria. You are helping them to create the world that your children may not be able to survive. My children won't survive in that world. And I am worried. They are creating the world that when they are gone, you and I will still have to be paying the price. The prices of bigotry, ethnic jingoism, religious fanaticism, political and class war. That's what Dele Farotimi said. Dele Farotimi said, don't die in their war.
You think you are fighting for Nigeria. You think you are fighting for Yoruba by defending Thiefnubu? Do you really think you are fighting for the North by defending Bokwari? Oh dear, you are fighting the wrong war. And when you die, you will be nameless. That is one sad thing, or sad way to end. It's actually a very sad way to go. When you were born, it was announced to the world. Ekwewomo, congratulations, oh, he's a gay. Akwayomo, ọkùnrin lanti. And everybody will begin to say, oh, congratulations. Atoloruko. Ashefun yao. Ashefun bapao. Ajoloruko. Now, Nigeria continue to make you a nobody, a non-entity, and they call you ordinary. You know, that's what they call us. Ordinary Nigerians. Me, I be ordinary now. Sure, you get ordinary. You watching me, you be ordinary. And that is why the real ones who have names, if me and you jam them, they go show you and I where we belong to. All of you, these talikas, talapalis, these poor people. The way you poor people always reason. I don't even understand these poor people. These are people who are living off you. People who are unproductive. They have no idea of creating wealth. They are living off the people. I call them scroungers, scavengers, pickpockets, armed robbers. But they will look at you and me because we are ordinary. Me, I be ordinary. Maiyegun, ordinary Nigerian. Abi, Uche, Chike, my brother, you are ordinary Nigerian. Abi, Princess Balogun, you are ordinary. Abi, they call us ordinary to our faces. They actually didn't really see that. They say, we are important. They are important. You and I are ordinary. I reject ordinary. You should reject ordinary. The moment you reject being ordinary, when anybody now calls you ordinary, you will see the insult in it. You will see the arrogance in it. You will see the way they look at you. That's how they look at us. They look at us like that. And their children look at us like that too. What is wrong with all these poor people, self? They just hate us. You know, they believe that we hate them. Like it's normal. We hate them. They hate us. They hate us. Yeah? We don't know why they hate us. We don't know why they all... You are stealing people's education, healthcare, jobs, standard economy. You are stealing them to build life for your families. You want them to love you. So therefore, they look at us and say, all these poor people. That's poverty. That's poverty speaking inside you. Person will never walk in his life. Your politicians are those who have failed in real life. Do you know that? You go see your politician. Him be doctor, but he prefer to be called a senator because he's never a successful doctor. He cannot even like operate or work as a doctor anywhere. Nobody go employ him. You will see this one say, he's an accountant. This one will say he's a senior advocate of Nigeria, he's a lawyer. When you look at all of them, they are failed people who have not been able to succeed in anything. But they have been able to succeed in politics, which is pretty much all it takes. Bend the knee. When you bend the knee for the establishment, you can join them. And then you can turn around and say, you this ordinary Nigerian self, we need to help ordinary Nigerians. We must make sure that we do everything to make sure that the ordinary Nigerians, man, I hate that word. Honestly, I do not hate people, hate things just any easily. But every time I remember that I am referred to ordinary, that is why if I am kidnapped, how many of us are currently in the temple this morning? How many are you? We have about 700 of us on YouTube, okay? About 80 of us on TikTok, okay? And then we have about 100 as well, or so, on YouTube, on Facebook. Now, let's consider that imagine, I have a total of, I have a total of 900 people watching me from all platforms this morning, right now, okay? Imagine all of us, 900 people. We are inside the room. Now, you are physically with me right now, okay? 900 of you. And then we are all taken. Or we are all slaughtered.
Do you know that they will just use one number to describe us? 900 people were slaughtered at the Temple of Truth by Fulani, by bandits, to make it look less. Not like terrorists, bandits. They're not going to name you, and say, Alhaji Abdulaziz, Mrs. Dickin, something. And this, no, they won't name you because we are ordinary. Are we ordinary? Are you ordinary? Are you? Now, you have people who have that mindset. The mindset of saviors. That is why your criminal politicians have the mindset of saviors. They dip you in debt, then they offer to help you. They take your food by destroying your economy, taking your job. Then they offer you gari and rice as your messiah. They give your child scholarship since you can no longer afford. Out of 5 children, they gave one scholarship. The rest of them, 4 of them, they can go and wander around in the world and see if they will survive or not. That's not up to them. But you need to be grateful to them. Okay? Since you can no longer take care of your family, they have already given one scholarship and they just give you a bag of gari. Make them poor and make them beg. Then offer them solution and look like their savior. Have you not noticed that? This template is everywhere. From the north to the east, from the west to every part of the place, where they offer solution to the problems they have created. That is why they walk about like your saviors. Yeah, I've studied that and they enjoyed it. Please come to our aid. Do you know how many years that you have not had electricity? I decided to buy you transformer and you are not grateful. All of you are not grateful. And they will be like, is it not our money? Shut up your mouth. Even if it's our money, it can decide to spend it. Nigeria is a place where the victims of bad governance will tell you that if a politician that steals their money uses it and somebody says, but it's our money now, the same Nigerian will say, but he can steal it now. What if he steals it? What are we going to do? Nigerians will tell themselves to be grateful. Be grateful that they didn't steal the money. You know? They say, okay, what if he steals the money? What do we go do? If he use the money and just steal the money, is that not what others do? Let us be happy. Let us be grateful. And the politician will be like, you get sense, Jerry. Don't mind them. You know that I can steal the money, Abi, and nothing you can do. Yes, now, honorable, we know. Thank you so much. Thank you for being considerate. Thank you for being helpful. Thank you for being godly. Oh, you are such a man of God. That our money, that you could have stolen it, but you choose to be grateful to us. So to be gracious to us. Let us be grateful. Let's be grateful. That's the country. That's the place. So where are we going to start from? That's the question a lot of people are asking. It should start from all of you now where they hear me every now and then. But unfortunately, when you realize some of you, when this thing enter the right ear, they don't come over the left ear. I wouldn't know if it is hunger or greed or selfishness that makes that happen. But that seems to be the experience. Because if you have been listening to me, we probably would have had enough people, enough army, people who are like enlightened, who knows the danger of what they are directly supporting or indirectly supporting. It would have been probably better than this. Now I'm already growing white beard, trying to worrying about what that future is. Abi, you think say this na fashion? Now stress you. Stress. The stress of, hey, I am a father. When I read it that school children were kidnapped, and there's nothing anyone can do than to negotiate and pay ransom to terrorists. And in most cases, I may never see my child again. As a father, I am worried. As a family man, I am worried for those I love. And this my worry has been from the moment I understood what Nigeria represents. I am glad that I'm bold enough to speak my mind and speak out today. And that is why, even if you are going to watch me on your screen, and you're going to watch me grow old, calling on you to join hands, drop your differences. They are not in your interest. You want Biafra, 100% you will get it. We want Yoruba nation without these criminals and their hirelings. Absolutely, we can get it. But we won't get a freedom when people's mind and people's thoughts are still in line with what they have been raised, born into, raised, and conditioned to believe. Abnormalities that they believe is normal. Okay? Fighting for politicians because they come from your tribe or practices the same religion as you is one act of ignorance, stupidity, including foolishness that you do need to educate your mind. It is self-destruct, self-injurious. It's like kind of killing yourself slowly and drinking poison and expecting not to die. That's exactly what a lot of you are doing. When you think you are defending criminal politicians who doesn't really give a damn about you. They do not give a damn about you. Now, if you say you love them for being the type of political terrorists that they are, then you are a closest sadist, narcissistic, animal, and you can identify as that. We just do not want this poison to continue to spread. You cannot drink poison and expect somebody else to die. That is what has brought you the Agbadorians, the Agbadomighty, the bastards, the bat idiots, the Buhari idiots, Thai barbarians, Buhari Danes, Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Denotus, the Buhari Dijatus, Buhari Shukus, the Ungoziaris, Unnek Haris, sophisticated morons of this world, humbled slaves of this world. I am talking to you, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the all risers. You are drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die. Bad governance is a stray bullet. It doesn't discriminate. Everyone will collect. If you still have your senses, it is ideal to pay attention to the danger that is lurking around you. Not even your criminal politicians will be spared. None of us will be spared. But we can spare ourselves and save ourselves from all of this using the availability of information that are there to help you and me. You cannot drink poison and expect somebody else to die. That is an act of foolishness, trust me. Ask those who said, when Thiefnubu said, Emilokon is like Yoruba word, Emilokon, it is my turn. I will continue to remind every one of you every day. How many of Emilokon of this has now symbolizes that Yorubalokon? Some of you suddenly turned Emilokon to Yorubalokon. I told you, this is not about Yoruba. It will be very stupid of you to continue to think that defending Emilokon or standing up or trying to shut people up is to protect Iwolokon. This is not you. Thiefnubu's Lokon, and it is Thiefnubu and his own cronies. Can you look around you? Unfortunately, the cronies who are also going to be or benefit like or loot and benefit like that of Boko Haram people, right? None of this wealth is going to in any way benefit any Yorubas or any part of Yorubaland. I say this with all sense of honesty and truthfulness. Look around you. Your politicians have been stealing and looting billions since 1999 in the earliest. Some of them claim to have businesses. They are building hotels. Yes, they are building hotels and building other things that never really add any real value, not even to the states they govern. Because most of them would rather use the same state resources to fund the business that is their own personal businesses. Politicians are building hospitals, private hospitals, right? And yet there are those who are also managing the public hospitals, only for public hospitals to die, and their own private unaffordable hospitals to continue to thrive. Yet they will never even use the hospitals. They build hospitals that they will never use. So when Thiefnubu said Emilokon, he wasn't thinking about the young Yoruba children that will go to bed hungry every night. Certainly, he wasn't talking about the aged Yorubas
those pensioners that are not paid. I'm talking about your aged parents, your aged grandpas, those that, if not for you, they will be dead now. Those that have, they believe they served Nigeria in their youth. I'm talking about those that will confidently tell you, I gave Nigeria my youth. These were people who spend, who used their 35, 40, 50 years of their lives believing that they were actually contributing or supporting a country that when they are old will take care of them. Look at them today. Nothing is Yoruba lokan. It is Thiefnubu and his cronies lokan. As for the Shege, Gbogbo Nigeria lokan. Shege Bansa that everybody is feeling today is not sparing Yoruba. It's not even sparing you as a Muslim, Baba. Ramadan is coming. They are already telling you, Baba, aweti bawe nle. Fasting and prayer don't day before Ramadan will come. Baba, is that life? Is that something you are hoping and praying that it will turn? It won't. I promise you it won't. And when they are done, another set of people will come in and say, Awa lokon. And once it is Awa lokon again, that circle of suffering continues. Do you really want that for your children, by the way? Like, are you thinking right now? Or you're just listening to me and laughing? Or you are Onyemu? That's fine. That's all right. But you will have it on record that I heard it on Maiyegun. I understand what is going on Maiyegun's Diary Political. I am just the type that didn't know what to do anymore. That's fair. But you shouldn't be supporting what is put together to kill you. Something that is already programmed to kill us. And how do they kill us? When you can no longer afford your medical. You can't pay for your medical. Your children can't afford a decent meal. You're going to lose your home. You are going to lose your job. All these things they're not in your interest. They do not discriminate. They do not. So blood of these young people in Yorubaland across Nigeria, they are blood that should continue to remind you of the danger. They are supposed to be your future, the future of tomorrow, our future of tomorrow. Now, your future of tomorrow are being starved today. They are being kidnapped and raped by terrorists that even if they are caught, they will be pardoned. The terrorists that are so powerful in Nigeria that they are forcing the hands of Nigerian government to actually negotiate by giving them land. That's our future. That's the future of our own children, right? Do you actually want that for your children without having a say in that? I am not saying that, Nigeria, everybody wants Nigeria to break up. I am saying that this future they say they are building, this scary future, don't you think this future that your own children are going to still be in, don't you think you have a right to be part of that and be part of those who are going to discuss it? That's where the problem is. They say we do not have any chance or any say. We only just have to obey. Obey is not negotiable. I'll leave you to that. And I want you to remember, over 800 women and children are currently in the captivity of the terrorists who kidnapped them. From Borno to Kaduna. Yes, to Benue. Kidnapped victims are in the captivity of their terrorist kidnappers who government is already making plan to pay. Okay. I hope you will remember that the president of the country and the rest of them, they are actually not even saying anything to you. All they have to say is that we will rescue them. And a lot of you still went to church today. What did you pray for today? Did you pray for Nigeria? Did you pray for peace? Or did you pray for the return of those children? Which of your gods did you call today? Which one did you call to protect you? That should never happen to you and your family. I'll leave it with that. Yesterday's survivors are today's victims. Today's survivors are tomorrow's victims. You and I, whether we are living in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, we are just a moment, just one click, one news from that disaster. I will pray for you that while you are still here, where you still have the opportunity, you will, what do you call it? When you still have the opportunity, you will indeed do the right thing. I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later tonight. Good morning. good afternoon, and good evening to you. Thanks a lot.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Maiyegun Diary, Diary politico.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Maiyegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Maiyegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀.
ṣàìṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.